Hello, and welcome to the Charlottesville-UVA-Albemarle County Regional Training Program on the Veoci Management Tool. This is the second part in a series of videos developed in an effort to jointly train our regional partners in the use of Veoci. In the first video, we discussed how to access Veoci for the first time. In this video, we will discuss basic navigation within Veoci, how to edit your profile, and how to utilize Veoci during an event. The first step is to bookmark Veoci's login page at veoci.com/Veoci. Then, once you've reached this page, enter your officially issued email address, click Next, and your password. Note that this password is not tied to any single sign-on systems currently used by Albemarle County, Charlottesville, or UVA. Your password is independent of any other system. Once you've signed in, you'll be taken to your home page. Recall that pressing the Home button at any time will bring you back to this home page. From the home page, you have access to all of your rooms, with the most recent or active rooms being at the top, bookmarked rooms here, and other rooms and all rooms you have access to here at the bottom. Note that the rooms you have access to are based on your permissions. Room permissions are based on who is or is not allowed access to that room, so the rooms you see may vary. Before we jump into navigating a room, let's quickly make sure we have our profile updated. To update your profile, click on your name here in the upper left corner of the screen. Click on the Edit Profile button at the bottom to change any information. Make sure your name is correct. Importantly, make sure your display name is in the proper format. Again, because we have several hundred users of this system, we require that all users have their first name, last name, their organization, and department in this format. Also, please upload a headshot. Again, with as many users, it helps to put a name to a face and understand who you're talking to. Make sure your email addresses are correct here. You can enter multiple email addresses, but make sure you maintain your primary email address as your officially issued address from your organization. You may optionally enter any areas of expertise you have. Please also make sure that you have, at minimum, your cell phone number entered as a phone number, and select that you can receive text message or SMS notifications. You may also enter other numbers, such as a landline number. In major emergencies, we may use the voice callback feature of Veoci, and depending on your department, may use this feature as well for a phone tree. At minimum, all three organizations require that you upload your cell phone number here to receive text and voice notifications. Enter your department and your position. You can also enter your home, work, or other addresses if you desire. You can link yourself to your manager or your direct reports here. Those are all optional and/or based on the requirements of your own internal department. To save, click Save, and then go back to the home screen. You can also edit your profile information by clicking on your avatar or hovering over your avatar in the upper right corner of the screen by clicking My Profile. Another option here, Help and Support if needed, and Account Settings. Under Account Settings, you can change things like your date and time format and your notification preferences, or change or reset your password. Make sure to click Save, and then Home to go back to the main screen. Back on the main screen, we'll go into a room. To join a room, either click the title or click the Join button at the bottom. Once in a room, we enter the cockpit, which is the default view of all rooms. In the cockpit, you notice it's divided up into three panes. We'll start here in the center since it's the most important pane. Here in the center is where you can communicate with other users within a room. Communication is as simple as typing a message. Click Submit. Just remember that clicking Enter will actually do a carriage return, so you need to click the Submit button. We also utilize threads. While this room is quite small, recall that some of our rooms, especially during regional events, can have upwards of 300 to 500 users. Threads break messages up based on subject, location, or any other factor that may be determined by the incident commander or EOC manager. To place a message in a thread, simply drag and drop. If you want to only see messages from that thread, you can click on the thread, and you will only be displayed messages within the thread. Again, this is especially useful in large-scale events where there's many messages. Other things you can do here in the communication is things like a hyperlink, as noted by Allison here. You can upload pictures or videos, and it embeds it here in the chat. We've used this during winter weather events to see snow conditions or other things to see actively what is going on. We'll address how to do this from a mobile device in a later video, but this is especially useful when users are in the field and able to send real-time information from pictures, videos, or other things back to the EOC. The other pane here on the right side of the screen is rooms. Now, you might ask yourself, we're already in a room, so what are other rooms? Depending on the event, the size and scale of the event, we may have side rooms established. Side rooms are basically a room within a room. For instance, the University of Virginia will often establish a side room within a regional event to coordinate our own operations internally. Side rooms can also be restricted, even from people in the main room. Other examples of side room usage are policy group or specific operations. This is, again, just a way of segmenting, if need be, based on the event. Many smaller scale events will not have any side rooms. Let's move over to the left side pane. The standard view on the left pane are the members. Here you can see who is present in the room, that is, they have their browser open to this screen, and who is not present. There's only a few members in this room because it's a relatively small work group, but in some rooms, such as regional events, you may see several hundred people between present and not present. You can click on any person to see a little bit more about them, their basic profile information, including their email address and whatever contact information they've made visible. You can also communicate via private message with individuals by clicking the private message chat button here. The private chats work very similar to Google Chat or any other similar messaging service. The only difference is that unfortunately there is no group chat option. You're only able to communicate one-on-one. If people have it enabled, they may have this sent as a push notification to the app or be sent as a text message. You can change those settings in your notifications under account settings. Also on this left side pane are tasks. We'll discuss tasks in more detail in a later video. However, tasks are an easy way of tracking single requests. Examples of this may be a resource request during an event or a reminder of somebody to complete a specific thing like gather weather data. When you're assigned a task, you'll have an alert up here and you can acknowledge, complete, send back the task. Again, we'll go into tasks in more detail in the next video. There's also forms. Again, forms are based on the actual incident and we'll detail what forms are and how they're used in a later video. The other tab to note on this left menu bar is Files. As a default in any regional emergency incident room, things like the Regional Emergency Operations Plan will be uploaded here as a PDF file. The UVA Critical Incident Management Plan could be uploaded here, as well as any documents specific to the incident, such as incident action plans, static maps of things, or anything else. In file formats, as you can see here, anything from PowerPoint to Word documents to Excel, PDF, video documents, you can put pretty much anything here in the files. To upload a file, you can either click the Files tab and then do Upload File, or alternatively, you can click the Upload File button here in the chat window. Other features of the room, as you can see along top, may be based on the content of the room. There's mapping tools, which is based on the Google Map interface, where you can turn layers on and off. Because of the content of this room, we don't have any map layers embedded. However, we can map things like ECC calls. We map hazards during weather events. We have our shelter database information in here as a map layer. In fact, here you go. You can see where some of our emergency shelters are. So these were pre-populated by administrators, and you can click on these, especially things like shelters. Again, content is based on the room, but you can see here some information about each one of these blips. There also is a dashboard, and again, the content of the dashboard here, we don't have anything displayed, but in other major incident rooms, we may have things like a weather tile, an information tile with phone numbers on it, and we're even tracking things, the number of calls received during an incident. So that may expand more based on the incident. If you click the home button, again, either there or here, it brings you back out to the home screen. That's all for this video. In the next video, we'll cover things like creating, assigning, and managing tasks, filling out forms, and we'll go a little bit more into depth on the mapping feature. Again, if you have any questions, comments, or need additional assistance on Veoci, please contact the Regional Working Group at veoci@virginia.edu. Thanks.